Court McGee
Yeah.
will take on Michael Chiesa on June 14th in Hotlanta, and he joins us now. How you doing, Mikey?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just got done with a very entertaining wrestling practice at 6 a.m., and now I'm talking to you guys.
Really appreciate it. 6 a.m. wrestling practice. Like, I got this. I've always joked that, like, pro practice at most gyms is like 10, 11 because these, fighters are lazy. They sleep in. If you do it early, 6 a.m. They just announced the fight like 45 minutes ago, and you're already doing 6 a.m. wrestling.
It's like the closer I get to 40, the more I wake up early. Like when I was like in my 20s, pro practice has got to be like 3 p.m. Now I'm just like, hey, it's 5 a.m. Anybody awake? Anybody want to train? What's everyone doing? But yeah, man, I'm excited to fight Court. I'm surprised the fight didn't happen a long time ago. The one storyline I love about this fight is it's another opportunity to fight a guy that's won the Ultimate Fighter. So it's, TUF Champ versus TUF Champ. I see a lot of people on Twitter calling it like Unk versus Unk. We got the Unk battle. And I'm like, whatever, man. At the end of the day, I'm excited to fight a guy like Court McGee. And it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, every matchup kind of has its own story. How did this fight come together? Did you get offered it? He get offered it? Were you just told? Or did the fight fall through? Like, walk me through how this matchup came together.
Well, when we were trying to figure out a matchup for Seattle, we kind of threw out the idea of fighting Court. He looked good against Tim Means. I'm always trying to fight, get back in the rankings, fight ranked opposition, but I'm very real with myself and honest with myself with where I'm at. I got to fight my way back in. The fast turnaround, I thought the Court McGee fight made sense. Things didn't work out for Seattle. And then it was actually the last Apex show I worked. Sean Shelby came in the back and was just like, hey, I got this Court McGee fight. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And obviously I had my sights set on someone else, but I'm not going to sit and wait. I'm not getting any younger. I'm hungry to compete. I'm eager to compete. I haven't felt like this in a long time. So, I'm just looking to get out there and keep the ball rolling. I don't want a lot of time between fights. I have more time behind me than I do ahead of me. So I got to take advantage of the time I have left while I still feel good. The Court McGee's the fight. Took it. So Hotlanta, here we come.
Well, I think the good thing about this fight is that now the UFC's not trying to push you out necessarily, right? Because getting Court McGee is a lot different than getting Mike Morales.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's got to be a good feeling, huh? They're like, all right, you know what? We still believe in him and we still think that he can give us some more fights.
Yeah, and I think that if Court's very, very durable, and when you look at my particular skill set, Court's been finished with strikes, but he's never been submitted. I've heard that it's almost a thing of like folklore how hard he is to submit in the gym, but I feel like if I could go out there, get the finish in the way that I finish my fights. I win 3 in a row with 3 finishes. Like maybe I can get another crack at some ranked opposition. But if I still had that number next to my name, it would be Michael Morales. That's a conversation that I had with my manager and stuff. And it's like, and I was in that position. When I kind of went on my skid, it was Luque. Then I had to fight down to Sean Brady, and then I had to fight Kevin Holland. So it's like I've been in that position. So now it's one of those situations where there's kind of some excitement to being unranked because you just don't know who you're going to fight. They might call you with Rusaboyev. They might call you with Court McGee. You just don't know. And it kind of makes it fun again. Like when you're in the rankings, you can kind of look at the landscape of those 15 guys, and there's a handful of them that you can pretty much guess you're going to get matched up with next. So, and I'd been in that, just kind of been in that circuit for a long time where now it's like back to day one when I first got in the UFC. You just don't know who you're going to get. It makes it a lot of fun. But if I can go out and finish Court McGee, I think a step up in opposition will be in line for my next fight, but I'm not looking past Court. Got to focus on the task at hand.
Well, if not a step up in opposition, let's talk about the opposition that I'm thinking about. It's no secret that you have called out Colby in the past, and I'm sure that's the fight that you probably alluded to a little earlier that you wanted. Whatever happened with that?
Dude, it was a no-brainer, and for me, being on the Ultimate Fighter, Colby kind of no-sold me. It's like on the when the camera's around, he wouldn't even look my direction. We had a couple interactions off camera that were genuine, and I'll never forget this. This is when we're wrapping up the fights, semifinals are done. I go back in the locker room. I'm shaking all the coaches' hands on Chael's team, and I see Colby, and I'm like, "Hey, good season." And I said, "Hey, if you ever want to do it, let's scrap." And he's like, "Yeah, man, absolutely. If that's what the bosses want, then I'll do it. And he's like, and just know that anything I said or did, it's all out of respect. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, I know what's coming. I know he probably put out some interview saying some shit. And of course he did. It's something about how he's like, Michael Chiesa is the perfect example of what we don't want anybody from Team Sonnen to do with their UFC career. And I'm like, what did I do that was so bad? I made the top 6 at 155. I made top 5 at 170. I'm an analyst for ESPN and the UFC. I'm about to be a UFC commentator. What about my career do you not want your fighters to emulate? That's beyond me. And I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, I think that he kind of screwed up a really good opportunity to where, Colby, I'm hearing the stories of how he handles his fighting career at this point in time. And he has said it himself, streamers make more money than fighters. And I think he's aspiring to be a streamer more than he is a fighter. I know that he doesn't train the way he used to because I'm talking to people that train at MMA Masters, and it's like you want to fight for the title. You only want to fight ranked guys. Buddy, if you're training the way that I'm hearing you're training, it's only going to get worse. So why didn't you take the opportunity to fight me in a main event against a guy that, worst case scenario, is just going to snatch your neck and choke you? You know what I mean? Like that was that. So now Colby just fumbled a situation where he's probably going to have to fight a Michael Morales. He's going to have to fight a guy that's going to do what Joaquin Buckley did to him. So to me, he fumbled a great opportunity to, for us to do a fight for the Ultimate Fighter, for these fighters. I thought it would have been a lot of fun. But at this point in time, I'm going to let it go. I think Colby, he's on his way out. He can do what he wants to do. As much foul things as he has to say about anybody he talks about, I'm going to choose not to go that route. It's just going to be the one that got away from us. And, at the end of the day, I still believe I would have kicked his ass. And that's about the worst thing I'll say about the guy. I think I would have smoked him. But I'm moved on from it. Court McGee it is. And we'll see what happens after that fight.
Mike, you're a better guy than I am with that because I don't play that fuck shit, man. Like, you can't come to me and be like, yeah, man, everything is cool. We cool. It's all out of respect. And then when the cameras turn on, you act all funny and then pull up personal shit. I don't play that, man.
Yeah, and that thing is, I try to keep my composure because I just don't want to play into his game. But it's like, the only thing he ever did was Kevin Lee made his mom famous or something. I'm just like, yeah, it's funny you did that interview after Ultimate Fighter was over because I'm pretty sensitive to that subject, as any man should be. Every man should want to defend their mother and her honor. So it's just fun. And this isn't me being like taking shots at him. This is just me calling it as I see it and as everybody sees it. Colby Covington he's tough in the octagon, but he's a fucking coward outside of the cage. The guy will talk so much shit, the worst, most foul, out of line stuff about people's families, their religions, you name it. But then when he sees that person face to face, no eye contact, he's on his phone, he just acts like they aren't there. He's a coward. Like, for me, if I was to go that route, and now it sounds like I'm talking crap, but to me, I'm just speaking facts. Like, if I was to say the things that he says about other people, when I see them, I'm going to continue those things, try to create a conversation with them, and throw those barbs directly at him, face to face, man to man. Like, he's just not like that. And it's like, I get that he's built this persona, but at the end of the day, Dean, and you can speak to this, and as a fighter, like, and I think that you and I have a lot of the same morals and outlooks when it comes to the sport. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and your time in the light comes to an end, you're left with two things: your memories and your relationships. And I value the latter of the two very, very much. And I just feel like Colby's going to be one of those guys when it's all said and done. He might have relationships with people outside of the fighting fraternity, but he's not going to have any frat brothers. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I value my relationships with the fraternity that I'm in, with the fighters in the UFC. And I'm going to have those relationships until the day I die. And unfortunately for Colby, when he hangs him up, not many people within this fraternity have any respect for him.
Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Battle for some welterweight veterans going down June 14th in State Farm Arena, Atlanta, Georgia. Big ESPN, I believe, linear show going down in, just 6 weeks from now. Can't wait to see it, Mike. Have a great training camp, and we'll talk to you as we get closer.